You know, your body is constantly talking to you. It's always leaving little clues about what's going on inside. But what happens when it's whispering about a really big problem and you just can't hear it? Well, today we're basically going to be detectives, uncovering the silent signals of kidney disease.
So let's start with this number, 90%. Now, this isn't just some random statistic. This is a huge, flashing warning sign about a major health condition that's affecting millions of people. And the craziest part? Most of them have no idea.
That's right. A staggering 9 out of 10 people with chronic kidney disease, we're talking long-term damage here, are walking around completely unaware. And that's exactly why it gets called a silent killer. The disease can just quietly get worse for years without any obvious symptoms, right up until the point where the damage is really severe.
So that begs the question, right? How in the world are you supposed to catch a disease that is an absolute expert at hiding in plain sight?
This quote from Dr. Joseph Fassolati really hits the nail on the head. He's saying that the symptoms usually don't show up until the kidneys are already in serious trouble. But, and this is a big but, your body does leave clues. You just have to know what you're looking for.
All right, so where do we even begin our investigation? Well, the first clues often pop up in a place you visit every single day but probably don't give a second thought to: your urine.
Okay, have you ever noticed bubbles in the toilet after you go? Look, some foam from a really strong stream is totally normal and it disappears fast. But if your urine is foamy every time, like you have to flush a couple of times to get rid of it, that's a potential red flag. It can actually look a lot like the foam you get when you scramble eggs, and that's because it's the same protein, albumin, that's leaking out from damaged kidneys.
Here's the question for you. Are you waking up like multiple times every single night needing to go to the bathroom? Now, it's so easy to just brush that off and say, oh, I'm just getting older, but it can be a really important early clue.
Yep, there's a medical term for it: nocturia. What happens is, when your kidneys aren't working at 100%, they start to lose their ability to concentrate your urine. And what does that mean? Well, it means your bladder fills up way faster, forcing you to make all those annoying nighttime trips.
So yeah, it's pretty clear your urine is basically a report card for your kidneys. And besides foam and how often you go, you should also be on the lookout for any blood in your urine. That can happen when the kidneys filters get damaged and let blood cells slip through. Also, just feeling like you have to go all the time during the day can be another signal.
But the clues don't stop there. They're not just internal. Our investigation is now moving to the outside of your body, where other signals can start to appear.
Your skin can tell a pretty interesting story. See, your kidneys are supposed to keep all the minerals in your blood perfectly balanced. When that balance gets thrown off, it can lead to super dry, intensely itchy skin. Damaged kidneys also have a tough time filtering certain hormones, which can cause these darker, tan-like patches to show up. And get this, in some cases, as all this waste builds up, the body actually tries to push it out through the skin, creating these little crater-shaped bumps. Wild, right?
And there are other things you can literally see. If your kidneys can't get rid of extra sodium, you end up retaining fluid, which causes swelling, especially in your feet and ankles. That constant puffiness around your eyes, that's another classic sign, often caused by that same protein leakage we just talked about. Even your fingernails can hold a clue, sometimes getting this distinct half-and-half look.
All right, here's one that might really surprise you: your breath. When your kidneys aren't filtering waste products like nitrogen and ammonia properly, that stuff builds up in your bloodstream. Your lungs then try to pitch in and push it out when you exhale. This leads to a condition called uremic fetor, and it can make your breath have a weird ammonia-like or metallic smell.
Okay, so we've covered clues you can see. Now let's talk about clues you can feel. And honestly, these are often the trickiest ones because they're so easy to mistake for just stress or feeling a little run down.
If you have that bone-deep, just overwhelming fatigue that no amount of sleep seems to fix, that could be a huge signal. A lot of people don't know this, but kidneys are super important for making a hormone that tells your body to produce red blood cells. When your kidneys aren't working right, you can develop anemia, which basically starves your body of oxygen and leaves you feeling completely exhausted all the time.
And what else might you be feeling? Well, your kidneys balance electrolytes like potassium and calcium. When those are out of whack, your muscles can start to ache or cramp for no good reason. A poor appetite is another really common sign, as the toxin buildup can just make food taste off. And ironically, those same toxins that make you tired during the day can make it almost impossible to get a good night's sleep.
So, we've gathered all these clues, from your urine to your skin to just how you feel inside. So what's the verdict? What's the next step? How do we finally crack this case?
And this right here is the single most important takeaway from all of this. Let me be crystal clear, this is all about awareness, not self-diagnosis. If any of these clues are sounding a little too familiar, that's not a reason to panic. It is, however, a very good reason to have an informed conversation with your doctor.
And here's the really good news. Getting answers is incredibly simple. There are two main tests that check your kidney health. The first is a urine test called the UACR, which looks for that protein we talked about. The second is a blood test called the eGFR, which just measures how well your kidneys are filtering. That's it. Two simple, non-invasive tests that can tell you so much.
And finally, you have to know if you're at risk. That's a huge piece of the puzzle. The two biggest things that lead to kidney disease are diabetes and high blood pressure, period. But also having a family history of kidney problems, being over 60, or having heart disease or obesity, those all raise your risk. If you fall into any of these groups, being proactive and asking your doctor for these simple tests every year is absolutely crucial.
So when you boil it all down, it really comes to this. Your body is always communicating. It's always leaving a trail of clues for you to find. The only question is, are you listening? Don't ignore the whispers before they turn into shouts. Pay attention to your body. It could literally save your life.